Hi everybody, it's me, Chris Jurgensen, coming to you from my summer home in Tokyo. Today we're going to be talking about the Mixolydian scale. Now the Mixolydian scale is a good one to use because it's designed for dominant chords, and you get a lot of those. Basically, it's the only mode of the major scale that is made for dominant chords. And it gives you a nice interesting sound because it's very unlike a lot of the other scales that you use for a dominant chord. Let me give you an example. Usually when we play over dominant chords, if you come from the same kind of background that I do anyways, you tend to play either minor or major pentatonic scales. Now let's have a listen to what the minor pentatonic scale sounds like against a G7 vamp. Next, let's have a listen to what the major pentatonic scale sounds like against a G dominant chord. It's a much brighter sound, sometimes associated with more of like a country kind of sound. Now the Mixolydian scale has a whole different kind of sound. More of an educated type of sound. It's got 7 notes rather than 5. It's a little bit smooth sounding. So if you want more of like a jazzy kind of sound for dominant chords, Mixolydian will work pretty good. Now what it is, you can look at it 2 different ways. You can look at it like a major scale with a flatted 7. So like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7 scale. If you need to come up with one on the fly, all you have to do is think up a 4th. So if you have G7 and you want to play G Mixolydian, up a 4th from G is C. Count them on your fingers, G, A, B, C. If you play a C major scale over a G7 chord, what you're going to get, whether you like it or not, is a G Mixolydian scale. You just got to be wary. You can't treat it like a major scale, though. You can't treat it like C major, because the C note isn't a great note for a G7 chord. It's a 4th, that ain't gonna happen. So again, the C major scale over the G7 chord is gonna work fine, but you just really want to start on like G, B, or D, or even the flat 7 of the chord. So one of those 4 notes, G, B, D, or F, is going to work pretty good. The other notes are fine, just don't be hanging around on them too long, that's all. So if you're familiar with pattern names, like for this G chord that I'm going to play on, the C major scale pattern 2, it works pretty good because G is the lowest note in it. Like this. Here's C, from C. But the lowest note you have in this pattern is G. And there you have it. So let's listen to what this sounds like over the G7 chord. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix it up with like the blues scale. I'm going to start with a blues thing, and when I feel like I want to be a little bit, sophisticated, I'll throw in that G Mixolydian scale, which is really just a C major scale starting on G. Okay, so check it out. Now the next thing you might want to try is over a two-chord vamp. How that works is I'm just going to play over two dominant chords that are not related. If you look on the accompanying page there on the chrisjurgensen.com site, you get a G7 chord followed by a B flat 7 chord. So you want to think up a fourth for both these chords if you want to think that way. For the G7 chord, I'll be playing a C major scale, starting on G, B, D, or F. And then for the next chord, the B flat chord, I'll be playing an E flat major scale. What I suggest you do at first, until you get used to it, is you stick to one position. So for the G chord, for instance, I'll be playing G Mixolydian down here. For the B flat chord, I'm going to stay in the same position playing E flat major scale. And it should come together if I do it right. Now this also comes in handy for like a blues. If you want to, be a little bit more fancy, you can play a Mixolydian scale over any one of the three dominant chords in a blues. I personally like to play it mostly over the 4 chord, but it's just a matter of preference. So let's say I'll play a blues here in G. And as you would know, the 3 chords in a G blues are G7, C7, and D7. At any one time, I could be playing one of the Mixolydian modes. So if it's over the G chord, I'll be playing C major, starting on a G, B, or D. If it's a C7 chord, I'll probably be thinking an F major scale, and of course I'll be starting on the C, the E, or the G. Right, and then for the D chord as well, I could play a D Mixolydian, although I generally don't play it on the 5 chords. But I could. You never know what could happen with me. In that case, I'll be playing a G major scale, starting on one of those chord tones of that D7 chord. And so try to check it out, because when I'm not playing Mixolydian, I'll just be playing the blues, and I'll probably be playing mostly blues. But I want you to see if you can find the place where I start playing Mixolydian. The sound's going to change, okay? So that's what I want you to be looking for.